Hey, this is Thad Joyner, and you're listening to What Thad Thinks, the one and only podcast on the interweb focused solely on what I think. Proud that you're listening today. We are powered by Better Beans Branding, your one-stop shop for commercial and residential design, graphics, branding, construction, and remodel. Yes, capable of everything. Thank you for listening. Hey, good afternoon and welcome to What Thad Thinks, your favorite podcast powered by Better Beans Branding, the number one most unique branding, design, and remodel company in the country. I can say that because I'm a member. We want to send a big shout out from Better Beans this week to the Nest Schools, who have a new national brand of schools that is launching with some huge acquisitions and out in the Midwest. More news to come on them, but they have signed up with Better Beans, and we couldn't be more proud of that process with their owners. It's going to be a pretty awesome experience. Ooh, excuse me, already coughing. Also, a big shout out to the pun champions of the world, Northwest Exterminating, located here in the Southeast. A monster extermination company. If you've ever seen their ads or driven through Atlanta, we've never seen people use puns quite as good in dad jokes. So if you're a fan of dad jokes and puns, check out Northwest Exterminating, signing on to do a little Better Beans work themselves. Can't believe I'm coughing. Something got caught in my throat right as we got started. But this is proof that we're a live podcast, not a recorded one. We could just start this introduction over with, but wanted you to hear what a healthy cough sounds like. It's Christmas week. You can't get me down. It's my favorite time of year. The lights, the music, the presents, Santa, Jesus, you name it. I love all of it. It's Christmas. More than anything, the joy of Christmas. But before we get into all the joy of Christmas, we'll bring on the joyless one, my least joyless friend and partner, Nielsen Gupta. Where is the lack of joy? There you are.
The Grinch is here. How are you?
I'm doing.
What's
great.
up with your cough?
We've been on the phone for 20 minutes. I hadn't coughed. Something got caught in my throat, and I don't have an assistant here today to bring me water. So I'm sticking tight. Maybe I can send a text. Maybe, you know what? I can do that.
Didn't somebody send you a text last week to bring have you bring mustard?
Let's see who loves me the most. That'll be a fun test. All I need is some water. Let's go. I'll say whoever you want to make a bet who brings me.
I want to bet on it. Who's going to bring you the water? I think it's Mia. I think it's your daughter.
Loves me. Bring me water. Okay. So you're going who?
I'm going with your daughter.
You're going with Mia? Yeah, She could be the furthest away from the water right now, but if she gets that text, she'll probably be on a full sprint. I think I hear footsteps. Somebody is moving towards
Are
the
they
water.
heavy steps or light? Who are you projecting?
I'm going to go with my wife in this upset here. I think she was already in the kitchen, so maybe we'll see.
Right.
It's coming down.
Was it?
My son sent a text, so we can rule him out. He responded. My son said, "I'm working out, so," and he left it like that. Oh my gosh. It's an upset. Miss Emily, my wife, brought me the water. Daughter loses, wife wins.
Chalk one up to wife.
Oh man, that's so much better. I had something completely thought there. But that is so 14-year-old son. I'm working out, so yeah, bro.
Good luck with your water.
Bro.
Hey, how's your family feeling? You were quarantining last 2 weeks.
Yeah, today is the first day out of quarantine. So it feels pretty free and amazing today. Wife and son both COVID positive. Wife did great. No real symptoms. Son, he must have licked a door handle or something. He got the full deal for a few days. Feverish and then kind of yo-yoed and But everybody's healthy now. Everybody's good. And we're fired up to be out of Corona just in time for Christmas. So feels pretty dang good. Thanks for asking.
No, well, good. Glad they're back in action. What are they gonna do with their first day of freedom?
Well, the son's working out and went to baseball today. Wife went shopping immediately. There you go.
Oh yeah, well, good. Well, okay. Look, talking about Corona, we covered this early on in March or April, but did you see this this post going around about death rates comparatively between 2019 and 2020?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen a post going around, but I mean, I do track the CDC website and take a look at these death rates because I talked about it in April that it was my guess is that the death rate would not go up in the United States. That the majority of deaths were happening with the extreme elderly, and some numbers were getting jacked up, and I didn't expect death rates to go up. So, what are you seeing? What have you seen? What light has come to your eyes?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if this data is right, and I did not look it up in terms of the CDC, but I will maybe. 2020 data
such
says
a
that it's
liberal,
lower.
man. You're so lib, and it's okay.
Yeah,
We have
maybe
liberal listeners.
partially.
Oh
I'm
my
a
gosh! I mean, well, how
maybe.
could you be so lib? You said if this data's right. I mean, you looked up the data because you knew we were going to talk about this on the show. So the fact that you even prefaced it by that just says it doesn't meet the narrative that you've been buying into, Neil.
I did buy into a narrative.
You bought into a narrative. So now that you're seeing it, you're like, well, if this data's right. You saw that data had been fact checked and certified, and you see it. And I even told you it was coming, and you still doubt it. I mean,
I'm surprised by it.
But think about how brainwashed you are.
Well, let's tell our people.
That's where I want to go. I want to know why you're so brainwashed. You are brainwashed, and you don't even know it.
Me. This isn't what Neil
What do you mean?
thinks. This is
what do you mean? It's about you right now.
But it doesn't.
It's about you.
No one cares.
What do you mean?
No one cares.
No one cares what?
About me and my brainwashing.
As an example, how many people do you think would be surprised by that data?
A significant amount.
Yeah, hundreds of millions surprised by that data.
I'll venture to say
hold on,
a majority.
Yeah, hundreds of millions of people would be surprised by that data. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me read.
Why don't we know that story?
You want me to say because the news isn't covering it.
Well, the news isn't covering it. Why isn't the news covering that?
I don't know. Because because it doesn't buy into, it doesn't help their narrative or sell advertising.
It doesn't
sell keep eyeballs on TV.
It doesn't keep eyeballs on TVs. It doesn't keep people locked up. It doesn't get new people elected. It doesn't get elections drawn out. It doesn't do any of that, right?
No, it does not. No, because it actually.
I mean, what if they came on the news?
Opposite.
What if they came on the news today?
Hey, look, everything's healthy. We are. Look, the data says, and my screen just went dark. It says that 2020 death rates, not death rate, death in the U.S. 2.5 million people in 2020 versus 2.7 in 2019.
200,000 less people died this year than last.
Yes.
Now, what if someone from the White House got up on stage and said, "Hey, look, less people have died this year than last." Can you imagine? Or what if the news got up and said that? Hey, there's nothing for y'all. I mean, this is the same number of people. The death rate, what is it, like 0.9%? Not even
0.8.
So 0.8% of people died this year, which is lower than last year, but about the same as it's been for the last 30 years, right? The same number of people die regardless of this pandemic. People die. That's what we do.
Yes, no shocker there.
So whether we died from a car wreck or died from a pandemic or died from, generally speaking, the same number of people die every year. Generally speaking, statistically speaking, the same number of people die.
So yes, and I think what you're saying is your assertion is that the pandemic is no worse for the American death rate than any other year.
Well, it's not. I mean, it says so loud and
That's correct.
clear. But yet, I've got grandparents that won't come over for Christmas this year.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Because they're scared to death because they sit around and watch the news all day long. That's what they do. Some of us go to work. Some people sit around the house and watch the news, so they're scared and they're not doing anything. And it's just sad. It's sad. I don't think people understand what they're doing to people. I don't think they understand exactly what they're doing to older people. They scared them to death. And the last 2 years of most of these people's lives are going to be miserable in their house. Not spinning around the joy of young people, not staying younger, not being active, not going to do things.
Yeah. Well, so they're going to die. Yeah. So they're sedentary.
And they're probably going to die
taking care
quicker
of
than they would have
themselves.
died.
Yep.
Thus, the death rate's the same. I can't get rid of that cough.
You may have to text for another round of water.
It's crazy. Something got caught in there. I swallowed something. I can feel it.
Well, yeah.
Sorry about that.
So no, all good. So
hey, look, anyways, I mean, we want to make sure we're not. I'm definitely not trying to, slow play the dangers of COVID and any safety precautions anybody needs to make. I'm just purely pointing out the same number of people have died, and none of us hear that news.
Less.
Yeah, well, less people have died this year, right?
Yes.
Less people.
Yes.
Crazy.
We have 2 million more people in the U.S. this year as a function of our birth rates than we did last year.
Yeah, more people, less deaths.
Yeah, that is correct.
More people that could have died. You know what? It's also interesting to me when you look at the stats. I'll tell you what's interesting to me. That really over the last 20 years, the death rate is the same, right? All this money we spend on medicine and research, and the same number of people die. Like, isn't that just a waste?
It's a machine, actually. Right. So here's the other question. Then, if you didn't spend it, would the same number of people die? Or are we spending so we can stay the same?
Yeah. Or would more people be dying? I mean, probably not. But I mean, you look at it. I don't know. I can tell you, this is not a conspiracy show for those of you that are jumping on for the first time. This is a small business show and what's going on in the world. We will move on from this topic. I promise you. It's very interesting to me, though. So, but I bring this up to say this. Who has made money off of the pandemic?
Media,
medical, political,
PPP providers.
A little bit, not really. What the banks made off that is very little. They make a fee. They don't even get what they normally get.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. PPE. Wrong letter there.
That's still medical. That's medical supplies. Yeah, medical, so, like the medical industry and the media have made money off the pandemic, 100%.
But we're not a conspiracy.
And political advertisers, right?
Oh, massive. You want to talk about political advertising? Come to our state right now.
Oh God, Georgia, it's awful. I mean, I seriously have gotten 2 robo-texts since we've gotten on this pandemic. It is nonstop. Let's get the latest one. James, you're invited. Come join Ivanka tomorrow in Milton for an early vote rally. Admission is free. Join Ivanka. I mean, it's crazy. Hurry, Georgia. Time is running out. Vote early.
It's crazy.
James,
record turnout.
James, John Ossoff has supported a plan that would close military bases, weaken our security. I mean, guys, it's just constant. Don't know where to go, James? Don't worry. We know where your early voting location is. I mean, it's crazy. James, Warnock's attacks on our military are disgusting. Vote Loeffler.
You're just looking at text. I mean, just think about when you turn on the TV, every other ad
My
the
God, we
story.
watched Family Feud this week, man. And I promise you, nobody else sponsored Family Feud this week at my house. Every commercial break, 2.5 minutes, was 2.5 minutes of political ads. My kids are so tired of all
Both
these
sides,
guys.
right?
Oh God, both sides. Oh yeah, awful. You just think about who's making money. Who's making money? These PACs, these lobbyists, the media, these television companies selling ads, and these medical companies. They're making money off of fear. 100% making money off fear, playing on people's fears of dying. Anyway, all right, we're gonna make sure we get some good content for people other than my rants and talking over you. My
I'm going to give you
correctness.
another chance to rant now.
Oh gosh, it is what
Hey,
Thad thinks, isn't it?
well, come on, rant. So maybe this
Is it
might
what
not
Thad
be
thinks or not? What's the
Is
name of our
what?
show, Neil?
Not Neil.
What's the name of our show?
What Thad thinks, not Neil.
Okay. Well, say it with a little more enthusiasm. That was awful. You were like scared that was a trap.
I mean, I don't
I'm
know
just
where
asking
you're
you.
going with that.
I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to think. Just answer a question. You complicate everything. I don't know where you're going with it. I don't want to answer what the name of the show is. I'm
Yeah,
afraid where you're going to go.
Sure, maybe.
Maybe.
Look, Google is getting sued for another round of Google lawsuits. This time they're being sued for antitrust in relationship to their the fact that they both sell the ability for small business and all businesses to be searched and found, and also because they're a search provider, they are also the beneficiary of the information that they're selling. So are they a monopoly? And here's some background on this. For those of our listeners that almost
Our
all of us
listeners
pay
are
for search.
so bored with this question right here. I mean,
90%
the
of all
background
searches are
you're
done on
having
Google.
to give right now makes this a very boring topic. I stopped listening to this question when you told me you were going to ask this question. I said, I in my head, I go, "Oh, I don't think I can listen." But I said, I'm going to let him put it in here, and I'm going to see if I can listen. And I can't. It's boring.
Google is not boring.
Google getting sued over antitrust violations is boring as hell. No one on this call. Okay, let's say we have tens of downloaders, right? No, hundreds now. Hundreds of downloaders.
I think we've broken the 100 mark.
Yeah, every week we're getting we have not over 100. I mean, we have hundreds now of listeners. And less than 5 people care about that topic that you're bringing up. We can't bring that up.
We made our show notes, so it's up.
No.
I want to hear what you think about whether Google's a monopoly.
I don't care. Honestly, okay, they are the best at what they do, and they have learned how to run the machine. Good for them. And I hate Google, and I hate what they do. But part of the reason I hate them is that it's not my idea, and I'm not making all the money off of it. God bless them. They figured out how to do things better than everybody, just like Bezos figured out how to sell everything better than everybody. Yeah, they're monopolies. Yeah. Or as some people define them, a monopoly. But part of the reason people are monopolies is they do things better than everybody else. God bless them. God bless America.
Okay. There you go. That's what you think.
That's what I
wanted to know.
Well, you know, son.
Hey, you obviously it's a big football weekend, championship weekend across the country. The Rose Bowl for playoffs is getting moved.
California screwed the Rose Bowl. Now, who could screw up the granddaddy of them all, the best bowl game in the world? Who could? And we went. My wife and I went, and we flew out there to the Rose Bowl when Georgia played in it a few years ago. Let me tell you, they did it right. You talk about a special experience. That dang Rose Bowl experience was special. Only California could screw something up like this. No wonder everybody's moving out of California. Nobody wants to live there. It's awful. They're just putting everybody out of business now. Maybe we're going to start getting some good restaurants, slightly east of there. Because then they're shutting down all their restaurant folks.
So where are people going to eat? They're not.
They don't go out to eat there. This arbitrary, I'm not diatribing because we're on the end of it. I'm not doing that. You got me ranting today. Stop it. This is supposed to be the joy of Christmas, and you're making me get upset.
That's not my fault. That's your deal. You got hooked. I'm
I
just asking
do
a
not
question about the Rose
like. I
Bowl.
do not like. I didn't know you were going to ask this question, and I do not like. I do not like that the government, specifically governors, are basically deciding people's success right now.
Ah,
They are limiting your ability to earn income, and the government is deciding that. I mean, I saw today that they approved today the $1 trillion stimulus or whatever, right? And you basically have to give stimulus if you're going to close businesses down, right? Like you can't put 100 people at this small business out of work and not prop them up somehow, right? I mean, you have to have
not
somewhere
unless you
for them to
want, not
go.
unless you want bread lines.
I
For
do
the,
not like this continued shutting down businesses and not letting the people decide. Like if nobody comes out to eat and the restaurant goes out of business, that's on the restaurant, right? That means the restaurant didn't make its customers feel safe enough to come eat there.
That's correct.
But if the restaurant does a good enough job of giving alternative dining options, takeout,
Curbside pickup.
and
All of it.
don't
Yeah.
even start with me. You want to know how dangerous takeout food is compared to like dining in? Like you and I are both proctors in Serve Safe and serving safe food. Like that's not even monitored. You know what? The health departments really should be showing up at people's doorsteps. And when food gets delivered, they should be temping it. And if it's out of temp, you can't eat it.
Yeah. Well,
Because
okay,
that's
guess
what would happen at the
there would
restaurant.
never be any delivery ever in America. It
That's
wouldn't
right.
exist. It's impossible.
That's right. But because you don't have to follow the rules once it leaves the front door. So government, if you're looking to get involved in something, get involved with temping food in people's cars, like flagging down the Uber Eats driver, pulling him over and temping all the food he's got. Like, I mean, I had a DoorDash guy come to my house the other day with a Chick-fil-A bag, right? I mean, and the bag wasn't even in one of their insulated bags. It was like my wife brought it home in the paper bag sitting in the front seat, and he just pulled it out and said, "Here you go, dude." I'm like, "Thanks, bro. Here we go." I mean, you don't talk about dangerous, but look, back on the original point, what is your mouth doing? Did you want to say something?
No. Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
But that was a weird mouth. But the fact is, if restaurants are doing a great job of making their customers feel safe, are going to still have people come dine with them, and the ones that don't will go out of business. And I think that's letting the market decide, right? It's letting the people decide how many restaurants need to be in business. But the government deciding is craziness. Like this loss of liberty in this company. And small business owners, you're on this call right now. I'm telling you, if you're not giving to small business advocates out there, like your Chamber of Commerce, like whatever your National Restaurant Association, National Child Care Association, Georgia Restaurant Association, Georgia Child, your state associations, your lobbying groups, your advocates, you're doing yourself a disservice. I've talked to a lot of business owners, and I find out they don't give to their associations, and it's just crazy. Like you should be, and don't just give the $100 to join. You need to be giving some like real money. It's crazy because in times like this, it pays off. And shout out to Ellen and Bernard Reynolds in Georgia, who for the Georgia Child Care Association have absolutely kicked butt and made sure our issues as our owners were on the forefront of the governor's mind every time businesses were discussed. Like just this week, we got moved up from phase 2 of vaccines to our teachers are now on phase 1 of vaccines, phase 1 part C for vaccines in Georgia. That's their work. That's our lobbyists' work.
Yeah.
California, y'all are in trouble.
But it takes members to be active to do that.
You have to give money.
Money.
You have to be active. I have a great board, of which I'm on the board. But and Neil's on the board, actually. I don't know how, but he's on the board. I'm kidding. Neil's awesome with he was on the Georgia Restaurant Association board as well. Neil's a great board member. But if you're not giving money and time to your associations, then sometimes you get what you get. But to the Rose Bowl, shame, letting the Rose Bowl get moved to Dallas, Texas. Come on, man.
I mean, I don't know how the heck we got away from Rose Bowl, but okay, so
I brought
there you are.
back,
You don't Yeah, you got it back. But so you are disappointed that it got there. I guess my question was going to be, um, should the college football playoff committee allow that? Right? Who did they cave to? Did they cave to
No, there's the
universities?
California rules right now. You can't have any fans, not any. You can't even have families, and there's a time restraint. Like everybody, there's a curfew. You didn't read. You don't ask
But
questions.
it
You don't
doesn't mean
read.
the game couldn't have been played. The game could have been played.
But what's a bowl game? A bowl game is not a made-for-TV event. It's an experience. You go to like we went to the
Okay.
Rose Bowl and we went to Disneyland, and we got to see like all the Penn State players at Disneyland. I mean, it's an experience a whole week. There's nothing to do. Everything's closed, Neil.
Mm.
And so, but think about all those business owners. You know, they got rid of the Rose Parade. I mean, you want to talk about depressing.
Massive loss of income for that community.
You know, we went to that Rose Parade. Let me tell you something. And TV, it's beautiful. It doesn't do justice for what they do. And I talked to some ladies that volunteer to build floats every year. You know, I mean, they start like 6 months earlier. I mean, it's crazy. I watched a lady tell me how they took, you know, because everything has to be living on this float, right? And this lady told me she glued cinnamon for 3 months. Like powdered cinnamon, because to make things brown, they had to use cinnamon. Like unbelievable, like talent and unbelievable and a sense of community. Imagine, I mean, I'm not being ugly or I'm not, but imagine like a 70-year-old woman that's volunteered at the Rose Parade for like 25 years. Like this is what she does in retirement.
That's her life. That's her year. Yeah.
She goes a couple hours a day. She gets to be around people. She gets to build something. She gets to feel important. She gets to feel like she's contributing, you know, and she is. Done. We're going to go to Dallas. I mean, come on, man. These people have no clue of the unintended consequences that they're doing to folks.
Massive consequence.
You know,
I'm super disappointed in the decision.
God bless Texas.
I will say this before we move off of that. It's amazing that.
What state
Texas
would you move to if you
those.
didn't live in Georgia? Would you move back to New York?
No.
Where would you go?
Florida or Texas.
Yeah. Me too.
North Florida though, not South Florida.
Yeah, North Florida.
But North Florida is like Georgia to me, but yeah, Texas could. There's potential there. Hey, last question. You got a favorite comfort food going into Christmas holidays?
Do I have a favorite comfort food?
Mm-hmm.
Comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Neil, I love chocolate. Like you love candy. Right. If you don't know Neil, like Neil's gonna have like his face gonna rot off one day. The amount of candy, like he can't go anywhere without getting candy, like candy, like a 7-year-old, like gummy bears. What's your favorite go-to candy right now? Like if you had to go to the store, you could only buy one. He usually buys like 4 different stuff, but it would be some kind of gummy, right?
Right now, I'm into gummy snakes.
Gummy snakes.
Yeah. Or gummy cola. I like gummy colas and I like gummy snakes. Gummy. Hey, what are you doing? You can't just walk up on me.
Wow, that's a first. Is that your wife?
No, my child, one of the kids.
Oh my God! You can't
she heard us say that. She heard us talking about candy, and she walked in to see.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. That's when they come running.
Yep.
Gummy snakes and cola. I mean, total 5-year-old food. I do love chocolate, and I get a lot of it. I've got stacks of it. I got customers and vendors and stuff send candy and food to the house so much. I bet you I've got 15 tins of cookies and stuff in there. But I got some chocolate covered pecans from somebody from South Georgia this week. Oh my God, they're good.
You can bring those to the meeting tomorrow. That sounds
Those
good.
are almost gone. I mean, I've been waking up because of this quarantine thing and my family sleeping in the basement. I'm like sleeping by myself, no dog, no wife, no nothing. And so I wake up at midnight every night. I don't sleep good without all them not being there. I've been getting up at like midnight and I eat. I mean, pounding food. I go in there and just eat chocolate, milk, constant.
That's healthy.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. It sucks too because I've been working out hard lately, and so working out hard and then eating like crap, you see no results. Other than I guess I feel better about eating like crap. Um, the so, um, all right. So look, I'm gonna peace out with, or no, we can talk about this. This is you and I talking. I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna do this with you. I had somebody in mind, but I never called him this week and told him to come on. So you're gonna have to do my second
Do what?
choice. Like,
Oh,
like
all
we'll
right. I'm your
exercise. We're gonna
guest.
move on to some like business stuff.
Come
Would you
on.
like to give the listener some content? We just spent 30 minutes of
You
giving them
ranting.
no content. We
Go ahead.
maybe I gave them 2 tidbits. All right. So I just want you to like rank these. No, I don't even want you to rank them. I just want you to say whether this is true or false. There is no other answer. There is no yes, but. You can't think about these. It's just true or false. Are you ready?
I understand. Yeah.
There is no right or wrong answer, Neil. There is no trap. There's nothing coming.
I don't
Okay.
believe you, but go ahead. Sure.
So I don't know if I can do this with you because you're so non-trusting. I can't even ask you the name of the show without you thinking about it before you step out.
You've scarred me. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, hold on a sec. Take the pork out of the oven. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. This show. We have really gone down to the depths.
Oh, I've got a pork loin in there, the bacon wrap, peppercorn crusted.
That's nice, Clark. I have had fun this week on Corona. I mean, I used to do all the cooking before kids, and now I don't cook except for special, anything special. But these last 2 weeks, I have cooked every meal. I've cooked my family breakfast, I have cooked lunches for them every day, and I've cooked dinners. Tonight will be my first night not cooking. So I was really anxious to see what my wife would cook tonight for dinner. And I got a text just a second ago, and you know what it said?
No.
We're ordering DoorDash. I have a $30 credit. What do you want from
want?
a Chinese restaurant? I mean, come on, man. I've been cooking good meals every night. Good meals. Anyway, all right. So these are just true or false. No, nothing out there. The best leaders build relationships.
True.
The best leaders are assertive.
True.
The best leaders produce results.
True.
The best leaders grow other leaders.
True.
The best leaders help people feel good about themselves.
True.
The best leaders work harder than their people. Or the best leaders work hard. How about that?
True.
The best leaders lead by example.
Yeah, true. What's going on here?
The best leaders stick to their guns.
False.
Oh. The best leaders are comfortable.
False.
The best leaders make others comfortable.
False.
The best leaders make others uncomfortable.
True.
So, okay, so let me mix those real quick. So, would you say the best leaders, quit trying to add this up. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You're not getting a score. There's no score. Promise. I told you don't to do this. You're overthinking it. Okay, so you're saying you think the best leaders don't make their people feel comfortable. The best leaders make their people feel uncomfortable. That's what you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, today I'm feeling that way.
Best leaders have fun.
True.
The best leaders lead culture.
True.
The best leaders lead people to a goal bigger than themselves.
True.
The best leaders motivate their people.
False.
Best leaders teach their people self-motivation.
Yeah, true.
That's a lot of truths, right? So other than
insanity,
motivating their people, which I mostly agree with you there. I somewhat disagree, but you can't really have both. Other than motivate, stick to their guns, which I would argue that the best leaders do stick to their guns, generally speaking. And best leaders are are comfortable. I would say best leaders are, well, no, comfortable in their own skin, but not necessarily comfortable. Um, so, the most part, you said all those were true. So, we had about, I don't know, a dozen true statements, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
And I could have
I
gone
got
on and on. We could have
yeah.
listed more, right? The
Hmm.
the best leaders, you know, um, we could have come up with more. I could have come up with more. All right.
Okay.
These are like, I spent 20 minutes writing those. All right.
Okay.
These are ones that things that I try to think about in my leadership. And as I'm getting ready for the new year, I'm doing a whole lot of thinking about leadership right now. I mean, really about leadership as the childcare company is growing, as I'm sitting on a board of a national brand that's launching, and as I look to Better Beans, another 2x growth or so, maybe even 3x growth for next year. I'm really thinking about leadership. So hopefully all of you can be thinking about your leadership. Like right now, like don't just think about your goals for next year. Think about your leadership a little bit, and how you lead. So what can you do? Like, how can you focus on those 15 things? Like, you can't focus on all of it. There's no way. You can't focus on making your people uncomfortable, right? You can't focus on making them feel good about themselves while being uncomfortable. Because you said both of those were true,
I did.
right?
Oh, well, I said,
I mean, if
yeah,
I
yeah.
asked people, and if I asked you without you thinking it was a trap, I said, people that are uncomfortable feel good about themselves. Well, that sounds ridiculous.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Um, right. So you can't focus on all of these. Right. So what do? Some of these things have to be real. They have to be who you are. If they're not, you can't do it. You can't focus and fake these. You need to have 10 of these in your back pocket that work this way no matter what. If you don't have 10 or so of these in your back pocket, then I mean, if I can do that, right? I mean, let's just say for me, and I can even talk about me with you since you're one of the people I lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am really good at making people feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I need to work on helping you feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because we are, like I said with Jessica last week, people that feel good about themselves produce good results. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And there are some people I do a great job of making them feel good about themselves. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Some people that I do a great job of making them feel good about themselves. There's some people
Yeah.
I don't. So that's a place that I need to focus for next year. But I don't have to worry about I don't need to work on making people feel uncomfortable. Do I?
No. No.
But you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
some of these have to be who you are. And some of these you have to go work on. Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay. So I came up with 3 things. Right? Some of these have to be real. Like motivation. If you got to motivate people in your organization, they probably shouldn't be in your organization.
Yeah. Too late.
Like I've always said, I mean, there's nothing, I'm not saying you can't give a motivating speech. Like some people may get motivated. Like, I can come to a P&L meeting and I can probably get people pumped up about, maybe the next month, but that only lasts for like 30 minutes a day. It's temporary. The rah-rah speech that the football coach gives at halftime, that's great for those next 2 quarters. That doesn't do anything to get their asses in the weight room on Monday morning. You know what I mean? Like the Monday morning weight rooms where the wins are really going to come. The motivating just kind of gets you through a brief moment, right? So the motivation's got to be real. Your people have got to be motivated to something, right? That's got to be real. That always needs to be in you. People have to care about winning. Listen, you're at your small business. I'm going to tell you, if you have, I love to hear people tell me, well, not everybody's got to be competitive, or not everybody's got to be, obsessed with making money or winning or whatever. Well, I'm okay. Well,
What are you in small business
they're not
for?
going to be
Or what are
very
you in business
good.
for?
They're not going to be very good. How are you going to motivate them? You can't. How are they going to motivate themselves? They can't. They're like, oh, I'm an artist. I'm with my own work. No, you're not. Like, you either want to be the best artist in the world and inspire people the most. Like, I don't care where it is. There's got to be a level that they want to win at, or they may not be very good for your organization. They definitely won't be a good leader. They definitely won't be a good leader. That's fact. I don't have it in a book, but it's fact. But I want to give you the three things that I think that you can do that doesn't make you have to focus on all of these things that I gave you. And I think all of you should go through. I want you to go through, and I want you to make an exercise that basically does just like I said. The best leaders do blank. The best leaders focus on this. The best leaders do this. I want you to just write like a long list, man. And you can build on it. And then I want you to check off the ones and be honest with yourself, the ones that you're good at, the ones that you don't have to think about, and the ones that you do. That's a great exercise. But I think that after you make your list, and I've made my list, and I want you to make your list as you get ready for your goals next year, I want you to think about these three things, okay? And one is a repetitive thing that if you listen to this podcast, I talk about all the time. And as angry as I've been today, you may not believe it. And as mean as I am to Neil, you may not believe it. But number one is love and care for your people deeply and desire for them to win. That has to be real. You can't just want you to win and your organization to win. You have to deeply believe, deep in your soul, that you want Neil to win, that you want Jordan to win, that you want Jennifer to win, that you want Amber to win. And if you believe that and you have that, and that is deep inside you, you can be the best kind of leader. It has to come from love. Because that is love. Love is okay with your person being better than you. In fact, driving them to help them be better than you. Your love looks like that. You know what else love is? Love is giving tough ass feedback. It is making your people uncomfortable because that makes them better. It is making them run the extra wind sprint. It is making them get up in the morning and work out if that's what it takes. It is giving them the hard feedback. So many people that think they're good leaders, that think they're good business owners, they don't give the hard feedback to the tough person. Like we always have this good employee running around our businesses, right? That's stronger than us, that we feel intimidated by, and we don't give them the tough feedback when they need it, how they need it in a timely manner. We either let it build up and it blows up on us, or we let it build up in them and it blows up on them, or they get in a fight with someone in the organization, whatever it may be. What you didn't do was give them the damn feedback they needed, when they needed it, how they need it, because you didn't show love. I can guarantee you, Neil, let me ask you, and this isn't me getting on you, but let me ask you, if your daughter, does something silly right now, you're going to go tell her about it, right? You give your kids constant feedback because you're constantly trying to teach them. Why are you constantly trying to teach your kids?
Because I have expectations.
No. Why do you constantly teach your kids? Because you love them.
Because I love her.
Feedback comes from love. And it's easy to give positive feedback. For some people, not for me, but for some people. But it's easy to give that. Like real love, you're going to give every kind of feedback, positive, negative, everything in between. If you love them, think about them just like your kids. You give them feedback all the time. You're teaching them all the time. So you can get through all of these. I should have said that. The best leaders are great teachers. I should have put that in there. I'm adding that right now to my list because the best leaders are great teachers because you know what? They love. And if you love, you teach. The love takes care of a ton of these. Best leaders are assertive. Yeah, if you love them. The best leaders build culture. Yeah, you build a culture of love. So many of these you don't have to focus on if you really just focus on how to love. Read some books on how to love other people and how to show love to other people. Fall in love with your people. You can fall in love with people that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
And deeply desire their success. Listen to them. Listen to their dreams. Bring their dreams up in meetings. Let people know. Let your people know we've got a brand new person in our organization, and I guarantee you, she already knows I love her. She already knows that her success is important to me. Right or wrong, Neil?
No, right.
How would she know that already? Because it's true. That's how she knows it.
Well, you have to demonstrate it.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
She knows it because it's true. I'm falling in love with the things that she does amazing. What makes her special? I got an interview with somebody tomorrow, right? I think. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we hire her, and I expect to hire her, I mean, from everything I'm hearing, if it is, I'm going to fall in love with her. Not that way, honey. Kidding. That was my joke. You like holding your lip, or you like, what's wrong?
Ooh, me?
Okay?
No.
You okay?
No, I'm taking notes.
Number 2, I gave you number 1. The first way you can, before you need to focus on the one that'll take care of all these things best leaders do. Number 1 was love your people, really fall in love with your people. Number 2, set goals with your people, long term, short term, and agree on your goals with your people. Don't let them just write crappy goals. Let them write great goals. Write them with them. Long term, short term, share your goals with them. You see, when you listen to people's goals and you set goals, long term, short term goals, and you agree on them with them, you agree on them with your people, it's going to take care of so much of the stuff. The wins are going to be awesome. They're going to care about winning. You're going to care. You're going to know their goal lines. You're going to be able to talk about their goals and reference them constantly with people. I know our new person. I know one day she wants to own her own design firm, so I talk about it all the time. This is what an owner does. I let her look at the P&L with me because I know that's what an owner is going to do. Now, I hope she never leaves. I hope we can help her reach her goals within our company. I hope she becomes an owner in our company. I hope she does all that stuff. I hope she realizes her long-term goals, right? But you reference them. Brittany Pugh, one of my partners who owns one of my two of my child care centers with me, a part of 2 of my child care centers with me. I interviewed her as a 23-year-old girl, or a 22-year-old girl, getting her associate's degree. She told me she wanted to own her own child care center one day. That was 8 years ago. 8 years later, she owns a child care center with me. I helped her reach her goal. I talk about it all the time. It's a success story. She will work with me. She will run through a wall with me. Why? Because I've really led her. I will do the same for her. Why? Because I fell in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 things. You fall in love with your people, number 1. Number 2, you set goals with your people, long and short term, and listen to them and help them reach them and push them. Make them uncomfortable. Ask them the tough question. Get frustrated with them. You don't get mad at people you don't love. Not real mad, not family mad, not that kind of mad that, that only your wife can make you, that only your best friend can make you, like only those things. Like that's love. That's the kind of love that comes out in those situations. Push them, make them uncomfortable. That's 2. So number 1 was love your people. Number 2 was set your goals, listen to your people. And number 3, winning is fun. I don't know if I don't even know how that fits in with the other ones, but man, maybe it's just something I think this needs to be said. It's an attitude. Winning is fun. And you can tell me whatever kind of people you have. You can tell me that, winning's not important. Bull crap. Show me someone that winning's not important. I'll show somebody that never wins. I mean, winning's important. This is how people become self-motivated. This is how people feel good about themselves. This is not you helping someone feel good about them. This is them helping themselves feel great about them. Show them how to win the game. Help them win the game. Once they learn how to win, and winning is, they realize how much fun winning is, they are motivated themselves. They are motivated to grow other people. They are motivated to teach other people the magic trick that you taught them. They are motivated to lead like you lead. Winning is fun. Some people think, I can tell you, really, it is important that people feel good about themselves, and they feel good about themselves when they win. So you have to do these other things. Show them love. That takes care of culture. Set goals with them. That shows that they're important. And winning is fun. That lets all those things keep repeating itself. And when in doubt, if you screw up number 2 and number 3, you can all the time, but don't screw up number 1. It's the greatest command that God ever gave is love one another like you love yourself. Fall in love with your people, you're going to be successful. I promise you. When in doubt, number 1. All right, Neely, I enjoyed you as my guest today. What's that? You're like
that was
a
good.
weird, like you're somber. That was good. What do you mean that was
Yeah.
good?
I wrote some good notes.
Well, good. I'm glad you got something out of it. Hopefully, our tens of listeners also get hundreds now. I gotta say, saying hundred.
We gotta start saying
What if
hundreds.
one day we say thousands?
Sounds
We
like
didn't
a
really
plan.
do podcasts to do thousands,
Why not?
but we didn't set out. Maybe we should set some goals for the podcast.
We probably
for
didn't
next
set
year.
any goals.
We didn't set any goals for the podcast. It's like, hey, well, let's just do some podcasts, give some content over COVID, right?
Yeah.
And then I floated the idea to like one of our super liberal friends, Andy Sherrard.
Andy. Yeah.
And Andy sent me a text back and said, you should call it What That Thinks. He gave me some other ideas too that sucked, but that one was a good one. That's where it came from. Little What That Thinks history for our early listeners. Those of you that can say that you were of the first people that joined this. But anyway, look, thank you, Neil. Enjoy your pork. And I'm going to give a little Blizzard style What Thad Thinks. So it used to be called Hurricane style, but since we're at Christmas, we're going to call it Blizzard edition. But this is Christmas. My favorite, most joyous time of the year. It's Christmas. Let's do this. I've got about, 10, 15 things. Remember Blizzard style. I'm just going to give you some quick thoughts. Make sure you know it. Listen, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what we say. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. But the best 3 Christmas movies of all time, Joyner household, I don't even think these are up for discussion. Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and The Santa Claus, just edging out Christmas Story. The Santa Claus. Peanut butter and chocolate kiss cookies. Those are my absolute favorite Christmas cookie. Turkey and ham for Christmas dinner. I don't like going to these Christmas dinners with only one meat. You should have turkey and ham. You should have a pork and a turkey product for your Christmas dinner. Hey, listen, of course I believe in Santa. Of course I believe in Santa. And you should only be able to open up one present on Christmas Eve, right? One present on Christmas Eve. That's it. I don't believe in 0. I think you should get one, and I think that present should be your suckiest present. Don't be opening up good presents on Christmas Eve. Tree up Thanksgiving or day after Thanksgiving. You should not be any later than the day after Thanksgiving, and it should not be any earlier than Thanksgiving, 3 o'clock after your dinner. Any earlier, it may get old. Listen, best Christmas song? This was hard. My favorite, Little Drummer Boy. Oh, my gosh. All of you have not listened to Little Drummer Boy this Christmas season, listen to it. Come, they told me, ba-rum-pa-bum-bum. I mean, you got to love that song. But a little known Christmas song, but a dark horse Christmas song. I'm going to give you a dark horse. My number 2 Christmas song this year, my number 2 favorite Christmas song for this year is "We Three Kings of Orient are bearing gifts, we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following younger star." I mean, We Three Kings, pretty daggum kick butt song, and a decent little movie if you saw We Three Kings with Ice Cube, I believe. Anyway, Little Drummer Boy, best song ever. Christmas Eve, midnight service, that's the best one to go. Sing Silent Night, light your candle, say thank you for God giving us Jesus from Christmas. Luke's Christmas Story, best of the Gospels. You know what? I haven't done it in a long time. I was thinking about it when I did this. The Nutcracker, that's a pretty good Christmas tradition. I'm going back to the Nutcracker next year. Listen, giving is better than getting. Everyone says that. I would say less than 5% of people actually believe that giving presents is better than getting. And the reason I know that most people don't is most people's Christmas presents suck. So most people are not thoughtful. But guess what? Right back to business. Guarantee you that your best leaders in this country give great Christmas presents. Thoughtful Christmas presents. They think about the people they're giving them to. Anyway, thank you for joining us. It's What That Thinks. Like us, subscribe, share. I just thank each of you for keeping getting our numbers up. Share it with somebody. We'd love to keep getting our numbers there. We get close to 1,000. Who knows? Um, Make sure if you've got an idea for a Better Beans topic, make sure to send it. Make sure to email it. But check out Better Beans Branding at betterbeansbranding.com. Email us. Let us know. I guarantee you, whatever small business you have, there's something that we could do to help, or at least get your business in the back of our minds. And when you do need help, we'll be there. Remodeling, interior, exterior design, or just your brand. Awesome company that Neil leads. So, anyways, I hope you have a great Christmas. I think we'll have one more episode before Christmas, but we'll have to see. Maybe we do a Christmas Day edition or something. Anyways, hope you have a great one. Thanks so much for joining. Adios.